Hopefully, this is a fantastic week with Fantastic Four coming out Friday. And I hope to see it, Lord willing. Maybe if there's a Thursday showing, maybe I go early and see it Thursday. We'll see. I don't know how this is gonna work out, what's gonna happen, but I'm hopefully or cautiously hopeful about this movie. It's weird because I'm hoping I don't have the opposite effect that I had with Superman. With Superman, I was not looking forward to the movie. I thought I wasn't going to enjoy it, and I enjoyed it. There are things I'm hearing about Fantastic Four that at a bare minimum has me excited about some of the filmmaking choices, and I'll get into that. But I bought Fantastic Four #1. Now, I'm going to start out with this, and I've said this before. Marvel and DC have lost a lot of fan capital, and I know I keep mentioning this, but there's a good reason why I want to mention this in this video specifically. So I heard a lot of things about this book by people who have read it. It came out on the 9th, and I didn't pick it up right away. Went in a comic book store this weekend, saw it, picked it up with a couple other books that I've been looking into, and I said, you know what? Let me check this out. I know what I heard about it. Oftentimes, what I hear about a book is correct. The people will say something about the book. I'll pick it up, and I'm like, yep, did not enjoy that. With this book, one of the things that I heard is they're trying to make Sue the lead of the group. Yo, the slighting that's been done to the fans, I think, have given people tunnel vision. If they even get a whiff of something that they even think is a certain way, it's off the rails. I can tell you, Sue Storm is not painted as the leader of the group in this book. Now, the book starts out with her narrating, and in the end, there's something she has to do to help the group out. But that's not because she's leading the group. The story is done very well. Let me open the book because I cannot remember the two gentlemen's names who did the writing and the art. And it was done well. The art, and they're battling Doom, Emperor Doom in this. And I was like, oh, I'm here for this. I am here for this. So the writer is Ryan North. The artist is Humberto Ramos. Colorist, Victor Alazba. Cover artist for this cover that I got is Edgar Delgado. Great cover. And Travis Lanham is the letterer. So yeah, this book was done well. It was done well. This is another one of those books. I'll always say, my opinion is my opinion. You may differ and disagree, and you may not like the things that I like, but I am fairly confident that anybody who is into Fantastic Four, I think you'll love this book. I think you'll find enjoyment in this story. The art is very pleasing. Doom doing Doom things, making it happen, but it was all good. There's no, if you're afraid that they're trying to change the dynamics of the team and trying to make Sue the leader and this is not going to work, I'm telling you, they did not do that in this book. And furthermore, if this gives any indication to the direction they are taking in this Fantastic Four movie, I'm not mad at this. I am not mad at this. I think this is done well. So let's get to this. Let's get to this video right here because this, ladies and gentlemen, excites me. And I'll tell you why when we see this.
Thank you, everyone.
The Fantastic Four were created in the 60s. It was the time of optimism, of looking to the stars. We're putting in our own version of the 60s.
And I like that aesthetic. I like that 60s hopeful aesthetic. And I'll tell you what, this is, I honestly, the two movies obviously being this and Superman, I like this hopeful feel. I've said this before. I really am not much for the hyperfixation on dystopianism in cinema. I'm not against that. there's a lot of dystopian movies, TV shows, whatever that I really like. But I also like this. I like the fact that they are taking the time to give you a more hopeful feel. And Fantastic Four always had this more hopeful feel. So I'm here for it. I am here for this. Oh, yes.
In this retro future world.
Matt challenged us at the early stages to try and do as much as we could practically.
And that's the thing that has me excited. So a lot of the early reviewers are saying how stunning the special effects are, especially the galactic and space special effects. They say it reminds them of Interstellar. Now, I'm going to temper my expectations because that's a high bar. Interstellar, for me, is the most visually pleasing space movie I have ever seen. The special effects in Interstellar is unparalleled. I saw that movie again because it was was it the 10th anniversary? I believe it was. I can't remember what anniversary it was. Anyway, the planetarium here locally, they had a showing. We went to see it, and that movie is still flawless to this day. I love that movie. Love that movie. So when they said something about doing practical effects and you're going to see some of that stuff, I was like, yo, this is exactly what I said months ago. Some of these movies really do need to get back to practical effects. I think this is a much better way to do cinema. Not always. I'm not saying it's a one size fits all, but man, I'm telling you, this excited me.
We built this incredible Times Square backlot set, unbelievable sets for Reed's lab and the Baxter Building apartment. We went on location to Spain.
There was just so much care that was put into what the movie looks like. And I think that aesthetic really informed a rich way of...
Aesthetics matter. And the more movies I watch, the more I realize some of the movies I love the most weren't necessarily the biggest budget, but it just had an aesthetic. And I think that's why initially when I saw the previews for this movie, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. I might like this. Again, temper my expectations because it may be that I go into the movie theater and I'm like, womp womp. You never know.
Realizing these characters.
It was such an imaginative space. It wasn't something that anyone had ever seen. So it was a magical experience.
H.E.R.B.I.E.
Having a practical H.E.R.B.I.E. just felt like
they did H.E.R.B.I.E. practically. So this is not CGI. Yo, look, a mix, and I've said this before, a mix of CGI and practical effects adds such a more realistic feel. We know there's not really a rock man on screen, but knowing that they have that on screen with something that is practical, yo, that adds something. That adds that little thing that just makes it that much better.
Like having another actor on set.
I was very excited about H.E.R.B.I.E. The reality of how big of a character he was going to be just grew and grew. He pretty much does everything that we'll see him do on screen.
Yo,
there's just something about H.E.R.B.I.E. I kind of fell for him pretty quickly.
So dope. That is so dope that they did this. This is, yo, I'm trying not to get too excited because I don't want to be let down. But man, I can't lie to you. I'm getting kind of excited for Fantastic Four.
So cute. I felt like we had a shorthand. I felt like H.E.R.B.I.E. and Ben maybe spent a lot of time together. They were homies in a way.
With Matt Shakman's approach, he's always done it through the lens of what was available to filmmakers in the 60s. It was practically what can you achieve in camera.
So why not?
Yeah, look back to older movies that use practical effects, right? And I always go back to the original Star Wars series. Go back and look at that movie, understanding that much of what you see is practical effects. You can't replace that. Look, I know a lot of people think computers will replace everything. I'm here to tell you, I love AI tools. I love a lot of the new technology we have, but there's something about analog things. I have an Apple Watch, right? I love that Apple Watch for what it's for. When I'm working out, when I'm going on my walks, I like the health metrics that it covers, but I wear analog watch, a mechanical movement watch. I love mechanical watches. I got into them years ago, and the Apple Watch will not scratch that itch of loving a mechanical watch. I'm telling you, and I really believe, look, a lot of these new tools we have, they're great, but I disagree with many people that say, oh, it's going to replace everything, because there's something that you just can't tangibly replace with digital. You can do a lot of great things with digital that you couldn't have achieved before, but you can't just outright replace the analog world. When I see movies that have practical effects, there's something about that that makes me like the movie better. If you gave me a movie, if you told me you have these two movies, one of them used 85% practical effects and special effects where they really couldn't duplicate certain things, and this one used 65% special effects with, you know, some practical effects mixed in with even more, you know, digital effects on top of that, I'm picking a one with majority actual effects, right? The one that used practical items, camera angles, and lighting. I like that better. And I know I sound like the old guy. Hey, I'll take it, but I like that much better. My humble opinion, and I think most people do. I think most people, when you show them things, there's something about the tactile, something that you know is actually in the real world. I think people gravitate toward that personally.
Not shoot a miniature rocket.
The miniature of the Excelsior spaceship behind us is 1/30th scale. It's about 13.5 feet long.
Feels very much of the time, but also retro future as well.
Are we safe?
And then Galactus is huge, you know,
exciting.
and one of the things we wanted to make sure that we captured was that scale. We approached it practically. It needs a tremendous amount of light.
So I'm assuming they used a practical model and using some camera angles and different things. Yo, after watching Godzilla Minus One, knowing how that was done makes me excited to see what they do here. It really does.
It needs special lenses.
The biggest challenge was to make something on a human scale that we know is going to be blown up into an absolutely gigantic character. So every little...
I really hope Marvel has finally got back on track and found their way with this movie.
bit of detail on him has to be minute so that when he is blown up to that huge scale, it all feels very real.
Fantastic Four, and I think I've said this in a video previously, Fantastic Four has some of the best villains in all of Marvel. This really, man, I want this movie to be good so bad. But I'm going to, going objectively, if it's not good, you will not see me talk about this movie past seeing it.
With all of these things, what they've done with this world is beautiful.
It was just so fun to step into an era that felt...
I know a lot of people are tired of seeing Pedro Pascal and everything. I'm wondering, because he's a great actor. Whatever you think about him, he's a great actor. And I'm wondering if he's going to make us believe he is Reed Richards. Because looking at him personally, he doesn't necessarily have the complete Reed Richards feel and look, even though they're doing a good job of bringing him into that. But I wonder if his acting is going to get us over, over the top with that. It may do that. It may do that.
Felt so familiar and yet so otherworldly, so nostalgic and futuristic at the same time. It's very intentionally a cinematic experience.
We will face this together as a family.
Yo, man, this looks like it's going to be good. It looks like it's going to be good. We shall see. I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch. Who knows? Like I said, I may go in and hate it, but if I got to judge according to what I've seen in this Fantastic Four #1, I guess Marvel's trying to generate some excitement around Fantastic Four. Look, Marvel keeps putting out stories like this that are actually very well done. With art like this, you got my attention. Let's see what you do.